Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, we are here at the concluding moments of the summit, reaping from all the optimism, immense optimism, in fact, coming from almost all the sessions that we've had under this roof and all the engagements in course of the 2-day of the summit. We greet you with a feeling of elation, gratitude, and a pledge to tread on together towards shared prosperity. And this certainly is just the beginning, a new beginning for Nepal. Allow me to reiterate, ladies and gentlemen, that Nepal Investment Summit is our endeavor, the endeavor of Nepal government to promote and attract the much needed boost for Nepal's capital formation and to nurture and nourish its much aspired development goals, which ranges in a wide, which holds a wide scope. We intend to make this the ultimate hub to interact with the globe. At this August convergence, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very, very much pleased and privileged to extend the warmest of welcome and gratitude, firstly to our chief guest, the Right Honorable, my apologies here, to Honorable Puspa Kamal Dhahal Prachanda, the chairman of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, also the former Prime Minister, as well as to all the honorable ministers seated at the dais. And I'm pleased to request to be seated in the front row our esteemed speakers for the closing ceremony, namely Mr. Kerry Adler, the President and CEO Skypar, Mr. Bhavan Bhatta, President NRNA, and Mr. Binod Chaudhary, Chairman of Chaudhary Group, ladies and gentlemen. Also, we take a moment herein to extend our warmest welcome to the honorable ministers present here, honorable MPs, to all the high dignitaries of Nepal government, their excellencies, the ambassadors, heads and representatives from all national and international entities, from stakeholder communities, friends from the media, and to each and every one of you who responded to our call and responded so enthusiastically and overwhelmingly. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the closing ceremony of Nepal Investment Summit 2019. Dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, we have segregated this ceremony into back-to-back 3 parts. Firstly, we shall witness the signing of the agreements and memorandum of understandings. Thereafter, we will be hearing from our special guests who will be making some addresses. And at the end, we will hear from our dignitaries upon the stage, as well as we will be giving you the information on the outcomes of this summit here in Kathmandu. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, arriving to the moment now, which we believe is going to be pivotal, not only in lifting our spirits, but to add that extra bit of impetus to our development zeal and efforts. Dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now witness the signing and exchange of MOUs and agreements, 15 in number altogether, in the gracious presence of Honorable Puspa Kamal Dhahal Prachanda, the chairman of Nepal Communist Party, also the former Prime Minister, and the high dignitaries herein. First and foremost, I have the pleasure of inviting for making the initials, the signatories up on stage for the first joint venture agreement of the afternoon or the day. I have a request. The signing and exchange of the MOU will take place right here in the presence of our high dignitaries. Thereafter, the memorandum of understandings will be exchanged, and the particular signing would conclude with a photo op, and the representatives of the respective signing sites can join in the photo opportunity towards the end of the signing right here on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, the first of the signing is a joint venture agreement between Chaudhary Group and Sharaf Group for the development of multi-modal logistics park. May I invite on stage Mr. Nirvan Chaudhary, the Managing Director of CG Corp Global, and Mr. Salah Sharaf, the Executive Director, Sharaf Group, for the signing ceremony. Representatives from the signing sides may join a quick photo op. Now the second signing ceremony, that is of a JVA, again a joint venture agreement between Chaudhary Group and Sky Power for the development of 600 megawatts utility scale solar power volt projects in Nepal. I have the pleasure of inviting up on stage the signatories, namely Mr. Nirvan Chaudhary, Managing Director, Chaudhary Group, and Mr. Kerry Adler, President and CEO, Sky Power. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the third is signing of a joint venture agreement again between CG Lifecell and Turkcell for 5G mobile network service. My pleasure of inviting up on stage the signatories, namely Mr. Nirvan Chaudhary, Managing Director of CG Corp Global, and Mr. Nejat Murad Arkani, Business Chief, Turkcell. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you indeed. The third is the signing of MOU between the Chief Minister of Chief Minister's Office of Province 2 and CG Infrastructure Private Limited for the development of solar photovoltaic energy. My pleasure of inviting up on stage the signatories, namely Honorable Mr. Lal Babu Raut, the Chief Minister from Province 2, and Mr. Nirvan Chaudhary, Managing Director, CG Infrastructure Private Limited. We shall be witnessing the signing ceremony of altogether 15 MOUs or agreements at this very August convergence, ladies and gentlemen. We're done with 3 and we're expecting 12 more up on stage. The signatories shall take their turns to make the initials. We shall skip number 4 for a bit and move to another MOU, ladies and gentlemen. That is an announcement of a financial investment confirmation of 650 million US dollars for the development of 216 megawatts Upper Trishuli 1 hydropower project by Korean investor KOSEP. For the announcement, I have the pleasure of inviting up on stage Mr. Hak Bin Kim, the Vice President of KOSEP. This, ladies and gentlemen, is just an announcement of a financial investment confirmation of 650 million US dollars for the development of Upper Trishuli 1 hydropower project.
Right Honorable Prime Minister K.P. Sharma, Honorable Mr. Puspa Kamal Dhahal, and all distinguished guests. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Hak Bin Kim, the Executive Vice President of KOEN, South Korea. First of all, thank you very much for invitation to Nepal Investment Summit. It's my pleasure to be with government delegate, global business leader and expert from across the world. Today, I am honored to be representing Korean government and KOEN. KOEN is a state-owned power company operating more than 11,000 megawatt capacity of power plant, involved more than 400 megawatt capacity of new and renewable power plant. KOEN took the first step in Nepal in 2011. We are the main sponsor of 260 megawatt Upper Trishuli 1 hydropower project. Project development agreement and power purchase agreement for the project are already signed with the government of Nepal and the Nepal Electricity Authority. Besides, the Nepal Water and Energy Development Company, the project company, is in the process of financing with international lenders, like Multilateral Development Bank and development finance institutions. Thanks to the government and NEA's support, the Nepal UT1 project has recently marked a new milestone regarding the hedge fund. And taking this opportunity, I'd like to request one more things to the government to develop hydropower project in Nepal through foreign direct investment. Tax benefit is very crucial. So we hope the Nepali government to speed up for the extension of tax holiday. Within a month, we expect to sign the loan agreement of 615 million US dollar with the lenders. And thank you very much. And on behalf of the sponsor of UT1 project, I'd like to give my commitment to start the main construction in October this year. When the construction is completed in 2024, the people of Nepal will be able to enjoy the stable power supply. In that regard, we would like to invite the Prime Minister to the groundbreaking ceremony held in this year. As the Prime Minister mentioned in his speech yesterday, I can see the political and the economic environment in Nepal becoming more favorable to foreign investors. And I could not agree more that improving power supply will lead Nepal to achieve rapid growth. For that, KOEN is ready to join hands with the Nepali government. And your good partner, KOEN will support Nepal to generate total capacity of 15,000 megawatt in 10 years through the additional investment followed by UT1 project. Once more, I'd like to thank the government of Nepal, Minister of Finance, Ministry of Energy and the Nepal Electricity Authority for the support and cooperation. I'm sure this summit opened a door to a development of Nepal, and looking forward to seeing Nepal becoming prosperous in Southeast Asia. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Hak Bin Kim, the Vice President of COSEP. Getting back to the signing ceremony of the earlier announced MOU, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now witness the signing of MOU between the Chief Minister's Office of Province 2 and CG Infrastructure Private Limited for the development of solar photovoltaic energy. My pleasure of inviting upon stage Honorable Mr. Lal Babu Raut, the Chief Minister, Province number 2, and Mr. Nirvan Chaudhary, Managing Director, CG Infrastructure Private Limited. Thank you very much. Next up is signing of a commitment letter, ladies and gentlemen, for financing of 900 megawatts of the Arun 3rd hydropower project. The total project cost of which is 11,228.85 crores NPR. And for the same, commitments have come about 6,560 crore from the State Bank of India, 812.61 crore from Everest Bank Limited, Nepal, and 487.58 crores pledge from Nabil Bank Limited. My pleasure of inviting up on stage the signatories, namely Mr. Satish Kumar Sharma, the Chief Executive Officer, Sutlej Jalvidyut Nigam Arun 3rd Power Development Company, Mr. Swaroti Vinod Kumar, AGM State Bank of India, Mr. Girish Kohli, DGM Everest Bank Limited, and Mr. Anil Keshri Shah, CEO Nabil Bank Limited. The representatives from the signing companies may come up on stage for a quick photo op. If you could make it quick, we would appreciate that. I request our high dignitaries to kindly step forward. To our high dignitaries, the honorable ministers. Thank you, gentlemen. We request the representatives up on stage to kindly make it quick in the interest of time. I request the honorable ministers to kindly step forward. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you indeed. This was the signing of a commitment letter for financing the 900 megawatts Arun 3rd hydropower project. Ladies and gentlemen, now we will be witnessing the signing of a joint development agreement between Yunnan Sinhua Water Conservancy and Hydropower Investment Company Limited, Hydro Solutions Group, and Shanghai Investigation, Design and Research Institute Company Limited for the development of the 164 megawatts of Kaligandaki Gorge hydropower project. May I invite the signatories up on stage, Mr. Gyanendra Lal Pradhan, the Chairman of Hydro Solutions Group, and Mr. Zhu Zhengsheng, Chief International Business, Yunnan Sinhua Water Conservancy and Hydropower Investment Company Limited. The signing of the joint development agreement between Yunnan Sinhua Water Conservancy and Hydropower Investment Company Limited, Hydro Solutions Group, and Shanghai Investigation, Design and Research Institute. And this is for the development of 164 megawatts Kaligandaki Gorge hydropower project. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. We move forth with signing of an agreement now that is between Investment Board of Nepal, International Finance Corporation IFC, and Specific Economic Zone, that says authority for the development of Simara says on PPP, ladies and gentlemen. My pleasure of inviting up on stage the CEO of the Investment Board of Nepal, Mr. Mahaprasad Adhikari, the CEO of says Dr. Chandika Bhatta, Ms. Wendy Werner, Regional Manager, Nepal, Bhutan and Bangladesh from IFC, and Mr. Pankaj Sinha, Senior Investment Officer, IFC. This is an agreement for the development of Simara Special Economic Zone based on PPP between Investment Board of Nepal, the International Finance Corporation IFC, and Special Economic Zone, that is SEZ. Thank you. We move on to the signing of another agreement, and this one is between Sincere Consulting Company Limited and Resources Himalaya Boutique Village Resort Private Limited for the development of Himalaya Boutique Village Resort in Banepa, ladies and gentlemen. That's Cozy Resort, South Asian Herbal Detoxification Spa, time-sharing villas, open zoo, adventurous sports in Nepal. That's what this resort would comprise. And the signatories up on stage, namely Mr. Gyanendra Lal Pradhan, the Executive Chairman of Resources Himalaya Boutique Village Resort Private Limited, and Ms. Eddie Hisia, Managing Director, Sincere Consulting Company Limited. Thank you, gentlemen. Next up is a signing of a MOU for setting up a 10 billion NPR fund by the Non-Resident Nepalese Association, ladies and gentlemen. For signing the MOU, I have the pleasure of inviting up on stage the signatories, Mr. Bhavan Bhatta, President NRNA, and Mr. Binod Prakash Singh, Director General, Department of Industries. This is a MOU for setting up a 10 billion rupees fund by the NRNA, that's the Non-Resident Nepalese Association. Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, the 10th is signing of a joint venture agreement between National Collateral Management Services Limited and Nepal Warehouse Company Limited for the development of a grain warehouse. My pleasure of inviting up on stage the signatories, Mr. Ananda Bagaria, Managing Director, Nepal Warehousing Company Limited, Nepal, and Mr. Anupam Kaushik, the Deputy CEO, National Collateral Management Services Limited, India. Thank you, gentlemen. Next is the signing of MOU between Federation of Contractors Associations of Nepal FCAN and Myanmar Licensed Contractors Association MLCA for infrastructure development cooperation. My pleasure of inviting up on stage Mr. Rabi Singh, the President of FCAN, and Mr. Yu Kyo Win, the President of MLCA. This marks the exchange of the MOU, once again for infrastructure development cooperation between the Federation of Contractors Association of Nepal FCAN and Myanmar Licensed Contractors Association MLCA. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Next is an announcement, ladies and gentlemen, of 39.90 crore investment by Muthoot Finance India in United Finance Limited in Nepal. My pleasure of inviting up on stage for the announcement Mr. Anil Karki, the country head, Muthoot Group, Nepal. We skip this for a moment and move ahead, ladies and gentlemen, with the signing of MOU for mutual cooperation between Investment Board Nepal and Investment Board South Africa. For signing the documents, I have the pleasure of inviting up on stage Mr. Mahaprasad Adhikari, the CEO of the Investment Board of Nepal, and Mr. Yunus Hussain, the acting head, Invest South Africa, I beg your pardon. Thank you. Now, the signing of MOU between AP Power Company Limited, Nepal and Karel Group of Companies, the United Kingdom, for the development of energy projects in Nepal. That includes 18 megawatts of solar power projects, 98 megawatts of hydro projects, and 10 megawatts of wind projects. For making the signatures, I have the pleasure of inviting up on stage the signatories, Mr. Guru Prasad Neopane, Chairman AP Power Company Limited, and Mr. Rajan Karel, the Chairman of Karel Group of Companies. Thank you. Thank you. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, is an announcement by the Dolma Himalaya Energy for the approval of Green Fund. I have the pleasure of inviting upon stage the MD of Dolma Himalaya Energy, Dr. Sandeep Shah, for the announcement.
Namaskar. My name is Sandeep Shah. I'm the Managing Director of Dolma Himalayan Energy, and we are looking at developing a solution for peak energy management here in Nepal. That is for dispatchable power available at any time of the day, using solar power as well as batteries to be connected to the grid. The first phase project that we have been looking at is a 150 megawatt project and a battery capacity of about 100 megawatt hours. I'm very pleased to announce today that we have entered into an arrangement with Climate Investor One, an FMO organization, which has approved the investment for $80 million in this project. And we are already started on this feasibility studies and the ESIA of the project. And we hope to commence construction in a year's time, and also in the meantime secure the balance finance. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings to a close the signing ceremony part of the closing ceremony. I now lead you to the special address session that features prominent business leaders. First and foremost, I have the pleasure of inviting upon stage Mr. Kerry Adler, the President and CEO of Sky Power.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful place it is to be in Nepal. I took my first yoga lesson today, and it started at 7 in the morning, and around 7:45 I started to feel that energy. Now I know why this is such a beautiful country. I wanted to share with you, we share something in common more than you know. And it starts with the color of our flag. As a proud Canadian, our flag, like yours, is red and white. Our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, has fantastic things to say about this country, and as many of you may have read recently, there was an agreement signed on the sidelines of the United Nations that deals with and addresses that Canada and Nepal are working towards fostering great relations together in agriculture and energy. Well, I'm in the energy business. I run Sky Power. We're the largest developer and owner-operator of solar energy projects in the world. About a year and a half ago, I had the pleasure of meeting the Chaudhry family at the United Nations, and they told me the story about this incredible country called Nepal and how people are so passionate about the environment. How could you not be? You live in the shadows of some of the greatest mountains that we've ever seen on the planet. When they told me about Nepal, I didn't fully appreciate what they meant when they said it is a country of warm people, honest people, hardworking people who want to build upon the economy. I can tell you that Canadians have a habit of it being attracted to good partners, great partners. Great countries where there's an opportunity to invest. And at Sky Power, in partnerships with the Chaudhry family, who are one of the best partners that we could ever have, because they're honest, they're forthright. They have shown at the United Nations, where I spend a great deal of time, that giving is as important as getting. And their recent report that was issued on their Sustainable Development Goals, I was sharing with the Secretary General, the head of the Global Compact, Lise Kingo, is an example for other companies in the world to follow. But that's not the only reason why we decided to partner. We are going to build 600 megawatts of solar. We're not only going to build solar, but we're going to build assembly plants here so that solar panels are going to be proudly assembled in Nepal. And it warms my heart to think that not only are we going to deliver clean energy, but we're going to deliver clean energy where the panels are assembled here. That means that your heart, your souls, and the economic benefit is going to stay here in this beautiful country. I know time is limited, but I did want to end with sharing with you a little story. You know, it warms my heart to see so many people gathered to look at all these opportunities for foreign investment. You know, our Prime Minister, Justin, who I know from many years, he said at the United Nations last year, no country can survive without foreign direct investment. I'm here to tell you today, we didn't come to sign an MOU. We've signed a framework agreement which sets the parameters for what we are going to do. It's not what we understand, it's how and when and why we're going to do it. So this is not an empty promise. You know, 2030 is a key year. You have targets that you are trying to achieve to be a middle-income country. I don't personally like the name least developed nation. How about winning an award as the most developed nation? That's the future of Nepal, and I am with our partners, the Chaudhry Group, Nirvana, Binod. Thank you for your support. Thank you for welcoming us here. Thank you for your hospitality. And to all of you gentlemen and excellencies, and to all of you, thank you for your kind hearts. We look forward to working here and creating jobs. Thank you.
And thank you to you, sir, for all the warm words and for the energy that you bring along. So that, ladies and gentlemen, we move ahead, and my pleasure of inviting up on stage Mr. Bhavan Bhatta, the president of the Non-Resident Nepalese Association.
Honorable Chief Guest, Puspa, Kamal, Dhahal, Prachanda, Honorable Minister for Industry, Commerce and Supplies, Matrika Prasad Yadav, Honorable Minister for Finance, Dr. Yuvraj Khatiwada, Honorable Foreign Ministers, Pradeep Gyawali. First of all, allow me to congratulate the government of Nepal, especially Right Honorable Prime Ministers, Honorable Finance Ministers, CEO of Nepal Investment Board for the grand success of Nepal Investment Summit 2019. The numbers and the diversity of participants as well as the number of MOUs signed during this 2 days allows us to believe that international investors are now looking at Nepal as a destination for their investment. This is indeed the good beginning. The summit generated significant interest among diaspora. Many of the aspiring NRN participants could not be accommodated. This indicates the resolve of the NRN community to contribute in the country's development process. We have the first-hand experience of humiliations just because we are from a country with low per capita income. So we have to vested interest in making the country rich and prosperous. In today's world, investment is sought by all countries. I have personally experienced to what extent countries go to lure investors. The investment from outside helps to bridge the gap between the locally available and the required amount of resource. Moreover, this also helps to introduce modern technology and methods, assess new markets, and attain competitiveness. The summit is a good beginning to showcase Nepal as investment destination. The real success will be when formalities are completed, financial closure are made, plants and equipments become operational. I hope summit will trigger the chain reaction which will ensure the success. We are fortunate to know the culture and business both in Nepal and in the countries we reside. Nepalese have been slowly but firmly climbing the ladder of business and professional success in the countries they reside. We have spread our wings to know markets and ventures. Many of us have transformed ourselves from tailor to manager, from attendant to owner, from research assistant to team leader. This allows us to believe that we can be a link between Nepal and the country we reside and operate. The foreign investors who are looking at investment possibilities in Nepal can use the Nepalese from the diaspora community to negotiate the business routes of Nepal. The NRNs can be your Sherpas for business in Nepal. The government and the business within the country also need to look at NRNs as a link with the outside the world. The case of successful nation in attracting outside investment proves that the diaspora plays the grand role. I am proud to report to you that today we have formally entered into the MOU with the government of Nepal to tap resources of diaspora to create a common investment fund which will invest in innovative ventures as well as infrastructure projects in Nepal. With this initiation, we plan to use small saving to execute big project. It will be a special purpose vehicle which will allow investors to get a return and Nepal have an access to significant fund. During the current phase, we plan to raise 10 billion worth fund. This will be done through sell the shares to the NRN, which will also include the Nepali workers as well as foreign nationals of Nepali origin. This is different from other investment projects of NRNs, as it not an investment in one project, but an investment in a fund which will invest in various projects. In order to assure liquidity to the investors, the shares of the proposed company will be tradable in stock exchange of Nepal. We hope to make this company a game changer in the capital mobilization and corporate governance. Using the occasion, I call on the foreign delegates to enjoy the hospitality of Nepal. This is the country where people always smile, even sometimes at awkward moments. This is the land known for Atithi Devo Bhava, or a guest is a god and has been treated likewise. Thank you and Dhanyavad. Wish you all very profitable business. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed for all your efforts to inject that extra impetus to the development endeavors of Nepal. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to invite upon stage Mr. Binod Chaudhary, the chairman of Chaudhary Group, for his remarks.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Ministers on the dais, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to first of all thank the government for choosing a very opportune time for hosting this most important event of this year. Why the most opportune time? Because time has come when we need to give a message to the world that Nepal has survived despite 25 years long political transition. Now we have a government which is stable, a government which wants to take the reform process forward, which was left behind in 1992. And thank you for responding to the call of the government with this level of overwhelming enthusiasm. We are truly delighted. We, along with my non-resident sons, work in many different countries, including Nepal. While building the first and the only multinational, we consciously chose to continue to have our headquarters in Nepal. not for emotional reasons, because we truly believe in Nepal. We've grown, we've earned the respect, we've received the unthinkable and extremely warm responses from partners like the ones with whom we've signed today, anywhere in the world. This has given us an opportunity to not only talk about what we do ourselves, but also to bring them to Nepal to open new pastures. I want to thank our partners, Sky Power, with whom we are going to open a new chapter in Nepal in the contest of installing 600 megawatts of green energy. And today also marks a history, as a matter of fact. Probably this is the first event after promulgating the federal Nepal's constitution that the Honorable Chief Minister is entering into a partnership with the private sector in a forum like this. This has clearly given a message that now, like many other countries in the world, Nepal's different provinces are going to compete to attract more capital, compete to attract more entrepreneurs. I congratulate you, Honorable Chief Minister, for your courage and for your support. We intend to build 200 megawatts of power plants in Pradesh number 2, province number 2. I also would like to acknowledge the extraordinary and outstanding support that we've received from Board of Investment for making all these joint ventures and initiatives possible. I want to congratulate the government, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Finance Minister, Honorable Minister of Industries, Foreign Minister, and BOI in particular, for pulling through what I consider an outstanding conference. I think it's been a great success. Nepal is now being seen all over the world as a probable destination for Nepal, but the real job begins now. People are going to watch how we move forward after the conference in terms of deliveries of our promises, how these joint ventures which have been signed are going to move forward, how the parties who are involved become the ambassadors of Nepal to take the message to the entire world that indeed, now the time has come. Don't be late, you're going to miss the bus. Nepal is ready, ladies and gentlemen. I would once again urge, you've heard unwavering assurances of our senior government dignitaries during the last 2 days. The way, at the pace at which all the reforms have been enacted in terms of the many critical acts and regulations speaks for itself. Institutional frameworks have been established. That has every reason to give the needed assurance to the people that Nepal will now it's going to become unstoppable. Please take benefit of this opportunity and join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed. In fact, very much for all the enthusiasm you bring along and for your consistent and firm belief and execution. Said that, ladies and gentlemen, we move forward towards the final part of the closing ceremony, the most important one, of course. And as you know, the distant future is what we are incorporating in our development dreams. And the work has already begun. That's the good news. Following the institutionalization of the hard-fought achievements, yes, the work has already begun. And this summit is a small but a fundamental and key step forward. And at this moment, as we come closer towards the close of this summit, ladies and gentlemen, we are more than eager to share with you the outcomes, those outcomes that we have reaped from all this great spirits and positivism that you have brought along to Kathmandu from across the globe. My pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, now to request Mr. Mahaprasad Adhikari, the Member Secretary of the Nepal Investment Summit 2019 Steering Committee, also the CEO of the Investment Board of Nepal, for the announcement of the outcome of the Nepal Investment Summit 2019.
Thank you. Namaskar, good evening. Right Honorable former Prime Minister and the Chairman of the NCP, Puspa Kamal Dhahal, Honorable Minister on the dais, Honorable Minister and other dignitaries of the dais. We have the numbers and certain outcomes of this summit, which I would like to announce here. Next slide. Okay. The summit has been participated by 735 foreign delegates and 600 domestic Nepalese delegates, representing 300 foreign companies and 100 domestic companies. Similarly, the representation is from 40 countries. On behalf of organizing committee and Nepal government, I'd like to express my gratitude to all of you for your kind participation and active interest. The symposium or outcome, overall deliberation, it was inaugurated by Right Honorable Prime Minister and addressed by prominent leaders from business communities and multilateral lending agencies. 4 plenary sessions that brought in-depth discussion on policies and investment opportunity in Nepal. We shared national and international experience related to FDI investment in Nepal. Similarly, we talked about the prospect of financing in infrastructure project in Nepal. There were 6 sectoral parallel sessions on energy, ICT, tourism, industries, agriculture, transport, and infrastructure. Also featured a number of sideline events that included the business climate, similarly the future of venture capital in Nepal, women in entrepreneurship, roundtable meeting on making investment happen in Nepal. There were 36 bilateral meetings with Right Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Ministers, more than 39 B2G meetings, more than 30 B2B meetings. What are the outcomes? Potential investors were briefed about domestic as well as cross-border and global market for Nepalese product and services. Potential investor had been apprised of a potential and investable FDI projects in Nepal in different sectors. Interested investors have been made aware of incentives and policy reform that Nepal has undertaken to create conducive environment for foreign investment. There were 16 deals just now we have seen. There we received certain project proposals which we have showcased: transport and infrastructure related 7, energy 4, agriculture infrastructure 3, education and health 2, logistic 1. In total, 17 projects have been already applied, which we showcased. We have given time for this application up to April 20, but we already received till today with the deposit of government even revenue here in the venue. Its number is 17. We are committing, the government will further deepen policy reform. It is continuing process. We will bring more potential and investable project covering additional sectors, additional all provinces, all areas. We will set up a robust follow-up mechanism. We will widen the domestic and foreign market for export of goods and services produced here in Nepal. We will take the deal signed today to implementation. We will soon start processing the application received in Nepal Investment Summit 2019. With this, please come and invest in Nepal. Thank you. We guarantee world-class treatment and world-class facilitation, world-class services. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, now we arrive to the most awaited moment of this closing ceremony as we extend our deep-felt gratitude. Now, please join me in placing my humble request to the chief guest of this ceremony, the former Prime Minister, the chairman of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, Honorable Puspa Kamal Dhahal Prachanda, for his special address.
Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished business leaders, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to express my heartiest gratitude to all the delegates who have come to participate in the summit from all over the globe. We are overwhelmed by your invaluable presence and encouraged by your interest on our call for investment in Nepal. It is testimony of the improving business climate in Nepal. It is also growing trust and solidarity of the investor for Nepal. It is really an encouraging and historical moment. As just now, CEO of the investment board briefly and comprehensively put forward the outcome of this historic event is itself proved the historical process of this investment summit. It is my belief that in last 2 days deliberations, meetings and interaction between public to private and private to private sector have remained fruitful to you all. I can assume that the private sector, by participating in the summit, have got chance to understand the overall investment regime of Nepal and the potential sector for investment, including a project bank to explore the potential investment project suitable to their expertise. At the same time, foreign participants have also got opportunity to interface with Nepal private sector and negotiate for further possible collaborations. This platform for Nepal private sector was to find partners that can not only bring in much needed funds for new venture or expansion and modernization of existing business units run by themselves, but also induct the state-of-art technology, management skill, marketing strategy, new market, product standardization, innovation, and production efficiency. Distinguished business leader, you also have already listened the series of reforms that the government of Nepal has already introduced or are being introduced in near term. The new institutions created that are related to investment, the initiative taken to enhance the capacities and efficiency of service delivery institution, and the procedures simplified to create hassle-free environment also certainly have shared with you. Let me emphasize here once again that the overall reforms are intended to create business-friendly environment and to ensure predictability of investment-related decision. Reform is a dynamic process. Everybody knows it. And that reforms demands periodic review and update as per the change that would occur internally and externally in a due course of time. Let me assure you that the reform we have initiated will be continued to make Nepal as an attractive investment destination to ensure the fair rate of return on your investment.
At the event, the immediate success of this summit is measured based on your overwhelming presence and successful holding of meetings and deliberation. But let me share my perspective that the investment decision is not an event, but it is a long-term commitment. Therefore, rational investment decision demands political stability and consistent policy for a reasonable period of time. I am informed that the government authorities have assured you to give continuity on their efforts of making investment-friendly environment in Nepal. In the long run, the project agreement signed or to be signed due to the platform created by this summit should produce satisfactory output in terms of attractive rate of return to the investor and tangible benefit to Nepal in terms of contribution in socio-economic development endeavor. Successful investment venture is in a long-term collaboration of business enterprises and the government for common benefit that is again attractive rate of return for the investor and employment and revenue generation to the government. I hope and I wish that the summit will create a conducive environment to all the parties involved for entering into mutually beneficial collaboration. Dear guests, although you have listened from previous speaker, including Right Honorable Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli, in their earlier speeches, let me reiterate about the most favorable political condition we have created for investment in Nepal at present. Last 12 years, from 2006 onward, we took initiative for major political milestones such as peace agreement, comprehensive peace agreement, election of Constituent Assembly, promulgation of the Constitution from that Assembly, abolition of feudal monarchical system to establish federal democratic republic. All are historical in its nature. In this process, we have shown great resilience, flexibility, and accommodation of the concern of different sections in the polity that can be useful example to the conflicting part in the world. Today, from our very unique and homegrown peace process, we can confidently tell the whole world that we can give the example and we can handle and find amicable solution of conflicting or competing issues of any magnitude and dimension. I think that this is a very unique and historical reference for the rest of the world. Our peace process is a successful story of the peace process in 21st century. Today, we have accomplished the task of setting political agenda, create a political stability, and now focused wholly on the economic transformation. We are fully aware that the hard-earned political achievement and political stability so far can be sustained only when they are fully backed by the economic development and the improvement of the living condition of our people. Distinguished guests, Nepal is a land of unparalleled natural beauty and a country with amazing natural and cultural diversity. Nepal is also endued with the bounty of natural resources, not yet fully harnessed, but the advancing economy and improving living conditions of 30 million people. In a nutshell, Nepal is a country of abundant opportunities. Nepal offers relatively underdeveloped virgin areas waiting for the investment. Prosperity and good life is a long-cherished goal of Nepali people. Nepal has huge demographic dividend with a big chunk of economically active, youthful population. The median age Nepali population is about 22 years, only which is highly favorable for labor-intensive industries. The diligence, honesty, integrity, and loyalty are the hallmarks of Nepali human resources that was by and large on over the years while working in different parts of the globe. The hundreds of rivers that originate from high Himalayas sharply descend to southern plate, creating naturally unique conditions to produce hydropower throughout the river stage. The power market is growing rapidly and will further accelerate with the industrialization, further meeting the immediate requirement of the country. Vibrant regional market with acute power deficit are also open for power trade. Nepal's status of duty-free, quota-free status is in Western and neighboring markets are equally important avenues to be taken into consideration for the establishing manufacturing industry in Nepal. Almost two-thirds population is engaged in agriculture. That too cannot produce sufficient food for entire population. The modernization of agriculture is already overdue. We are the world's most diverse country in terms of culture and nature. Nepal is the only vertical country in the world which elevation sharply descends from 8,884 meters to only 65 meters from the sea level, just within a 200 kilometer of aerial distance. Although Nepal is pioneer in tourism industry, in South Asia endured a bounty of tourism resources that hardly many countries can be compared to in terms of varieties we can offer. The expansions of tourism-related infrastructure are in progress, but the scale of investment required and knowledge or technology we possess for building such infrastructure is hardly meeting the demand. The alpine to subtropical and tropical climate within a narrow band of topography provide unique natural conditions for growing varieties of flora and fauna and many species of animals and plants that virtually makes the entire country a unique botanical garden and beautiful zoo. Nepal's unique topography offers tremendous opportunities for innovation-based business, research, and development. We are committed to improve our intellectual property regime to protect your intellectual property right. I don't want to go on detail because you have already heard during the thematic session from the relevant authorities. I just tried to pick up few points to re-emphasize the priority of the government and the opportunities available to us. Development of infrastructure is our utmost priority. Connecting neighboring countries by efficient transport means such as cross-border railways, highways, airways, information ways, and power transmission are equally important, vital projects that we need to develop to connect Nepal's economy to the outside and to make our economy competitive. Government is ready to facilitate the development of economic zones, industrial parks, and special economic zones for creating conducive environment for manufacturing industry, innovation and innovation-related industry. Digital technology is cross-cutting issue that is open for private investment, has great chance to expand. Our constitution has provided us a framework for socio-economic transformation and economic development. We have recognized the role of private sector in economic development. We want to promote private sector in order to ensure economic efficiency and enhance innovation as a rewarding phenomenon. Public sector should create conducive atmosphere for private sector to operate. Government also should create enabling conditions for them to play a pivotal role in economic development. Role of private sector for economic development is indispensable. Public sector should focus on social development, ensure safety and security of people and investment both. Public sector also has to ensure equal level playing field for market competition. Public-private partnership is a model expected to employ the efficiency and share risk and benefit. While talking of foreign investment, we equally underscore and value the investment from domestic private sector. Foreign investment can be and should be. Foreign investment can be and should be complementary to the domestic investment, not to replace. Nepal private sector should stand ready for the induction of modern tools and technologies and knowledge and finance from the foreign enterprises. Private sector ensure efficiency and enhance productivity. Public sector ensure social security and safety. In conclusion, we are open and ready to accommodate and address the genuine concern of investors. This summit is a platform to discuss on common issue for solving common problem of making investment a boost for socio-economic transformation of Nepalese society. We want to make this event a milestone in our quest of past pace of economic development with equity. I hope and wish that the participants of this summit will leave this venue with optimism and determination to be a part of socio-economic transformation of Nepal society by engaging themselves in mutually beneficial economic activities. Once again, I want to stress that we have created a very favorable political environment for the investment, for the economic development. We are having as I already mentioned, having a very unique peace process, one of the most important reference for all over the world. Now, this peace and stability, we want to transform it into economic prosperity. Therefore, prosperous Nepal and happy Nepali is the main slogan of the government this time. We want to create, we successfully concluded the very vital and very sensitive part of the peace process, that is the integration of ex-combatants in the army and management of all the arms and ammunition. These are the very positive story of our peace process. Now we want to create the atmosphere of economic prosperity with this peace and political stability. Dear friends, lastly, I want for foreign delegates, while you are in Nepal, please find time to go around and enjoy cultural variety, the mutual beauty, natural beauty and serenity of Nepal. I want to extend my deepest thanks to you all for your participation and making grand success of this summit. I also thank Investment Board Nepal for organizing such encouraging event and all the contributors for the success of this summit. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed for your very optimistic and valued remarks and statements and for your gracious presence. Ladies and gentlemen, now towards the final moments of the summit and for the concluding address, it's my privilege to invite to the podium the coordinator of the Nepal Investment Summit 2019 Steering Committee, Honorable Dr. Yuvaraj Khatioda, the Minister of Finance.
Honorable Puspa Kamal Dhahal Prachanda, President of the Communist Party of Nepal and former Prime Minister, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, excellencies, participants, media persons, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. Let me begin by thanking you all, the participants, who have been heavily engaged and contributed to make the summit a grand success. As coordinator of the summit, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to your valuable participation in the summit. The summit has come to a successful end with overwhelming participation of more than 1,300 participants, including more than 700 foreign delegates from 40 countries, representing more than 300 companies. As the CEO of Investment Board has briefed about the proceedings and the engagements, I would like to repeat that a total of 10 sessions, including 6 thematic and 4 plenaries, will taken place with heavy engagement of dialogue and discourses. I understand these sessions were highly effective in showcasing Nepal as an attractive investment destination and sharing experiences. In the sideline, there were several events. More than 3 dozen of B2G meetings and more than a dozen of sideline events were also conducted, along with the several B2B meetings during the summit. Right Honorable Prime Minister and myself held more than 30 sideline bilateral meetings with the investors and delegates from different agencies. These meetings were extremely useful to carry forward our investment agenda. The summit turned to be very encompassing, with multilateral, bilateral, and private entities being heavily engaged in the business sessions and showing their interest to support each other. The foreign and domestic private sectors have found this event as an excellent opportunity to complement each other in their business ventures. The government officials have been heavily engaged in these days to facilitate the business ventures and to improve governance, as echoed in the summit. I believe that the participants must have had an in-depth knowledge about investment opportunities in Nepal. The panel discussions and many other formal and informal conversations on various themes ranging from agriculture, industry, tourism, transport, IT to energy must have generated enthusiasm to explore the investment opportunities in Nepal. Would like to make sure that you get best sector for investment, best people to collaborate with, best destination to expand your business, and best rate of return on your investment. The government would like to provide you with the best and professional facilitation to do business in Nepal, and we have created and further strengthened the Investment Board of Nepal to provide such facilities in coming days through a single-stop mechanism of services. I would like to take this opportunity to inform you that we have created a level playing field for all the investors, and we would like to see a healthy competing environment for business community. The government would like to partner with the private sectors, and we want to work hand in hand with you all. Our common goal is rapid development towards economic prosperity. The government is pulling all its efforts to materialize the Right Honorable Prime Minister's vision for prosperous Nepal, happy Nepali. This is the reflection of the country's vision as well as of all the Nepalis. I hope our collaboration will continue and your participation at the summit will culminate into an investment destination to Nepal. I can see manifold of achievements that have taken place during the summit, and there are several takeaways from the summit. First, we have been able to communicate government vision, reforms, initiatives, and roadmap for the journey of economic prosperity with your investments. Next, we have been able to demonstrate national unity in the journey of our economic prosperity, irrespective of differences of our political parties within the country. We have begun our journey towards prosperity hands in hand with private sector. While we recognize the private sector as the engine of growth, the summit is an indication of our common bond to proceed together towards this direction. I'm confident that you should have been able to develop business networks and explore investment prospects and opportunities in Nepal. We have observed a greater interest of foreign investors to enter into business deals at this summit. As we have observed now, about 1.5 dozen of MOUs have taken place in course of the summit, while several other MOUs are in pipeline to be inked very soon. The projects which we have put in showcase during the summit have drawn overwhelming response from the potential investors, and they will come into being as soon as possible after completing the basic formalities. With your interest, commitment, and offer of business, I am sure that we can make Nepal as the new investment destination. We are overwhelmingly encouraged from the response of your esteemed participants in bilateral or panel discussions to see Nepal as a rising star in South Asia. This is not the word I am saying, this is the word participants have expressed over time and time, to see Nepal having a paradigm shift in terms of its investment climate. Now my job is also to express vote of thanks to all the people who are behind the summit and who have worked very hard to make this summit a success. As coordinator of the summit, I thank the Right Honorable Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli, who has led this process for addressing the summit as chief guest and flagging on the development roadmap of the country, along with highlighting the opportunities for private sector investment. Likewise, I would like to thank Honorable Mr. Prachanda, Puspa Kamal Dhahal, former Prime Minister and the President of CPN, for his gracious presence and also for his incredible remarks. I also appreciate the dignitaries for their address in the opening session and for the clear and candid expressions of those who were resource persons during the summit. My thanks to all the speakers, moderators, and chairs of the plenaries who have contributed to the success of the summit, and also the colleagues who are actively participating from the floor to make this event even more lively. I must not forget to thank our private sector friends from Nepal who have been an integral part of the summit. Particularly, I must thank Ms. Bhavani Rana, Mr. Haribhakta Sharma, and Mr. Rajesh Kaji Shrestha, the leaders of the private sector umbrella organizations who have significantly contributed to make this summit a great success. And I have to thank the Investment Board of Nepal, led by Mr. Mahaprasad Adhikari and his team, the government officials who have worked so hard in making this event a great success. I think we must give a big hand to those people. Mr. Adhikari and the team, please rise, and we want to give a big hand to you all. Could you rise, all the colleagues who have contributed? Okay. My thanks also to the event manager and the hotel for making best possible logical arrangement for the event. Distinguished participants, it's not possible to name everybody who have contributed and have been instrumental in making this event a turning point for Nepal's road to prosperity. I thank them all, and as coordinator of the event, I take full responsibility of any shortcomings that might have happened during the course of this summit. We build on the strength we have gathered from the meeting, from the summit, and we correct the shortcomings or any weaknesses that might have come across in our logistic managements. With these remarks, let me finally thank you all for having shown your solidarity to our vision of prosperous Nepal, happy Nepali, through participation in different forms of investment and business ventures. In the beginning, it is the beginning of our journey, and I look forward to even more engaging collaboration in coming days. This summit has left a great deal of work to be done by us to translate the spirit of the summit into action and to see that happening in our real life. The government would like to assure you that our reforms are ongoing, and we would move forward with ongoing agenda of reforms to see more private sector friendly investment climate. Distinguished guests and delegates, every good moment has an end. But our journey just starts from here. This summit is the beginning of our journey towards our collaboration, towards a prosperous Nepal and happy Nepali. So finally, for those foreign delegates who have traveled all the way and shared your thoughts, views, and shared your resources with us, I look forward to your happy journey back home and look forward even for more engaging business ventures in coming days to come. And also, good luck to everybody. Thank you very much.
Indeed, thank you all, especially to all the international investors who are converged here in Kathmandu. Thank you for the tremendous effort that you've made. Thank you for taking all your time, for giving us that very valuable time. Thank you for sparing your thought for Nepal and Nepalese. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, reflecting the sentiments or emotions or the mood of the organizers at the moment, goodbyes certainly are difficult, but as we're looking at the moment very much optimistically towards seeing you back in Kathmandu, back in Nepal, and during more opportune and august opportunities and occasions, we close this summit, Nepal Investment Summit 2019, with elation and a lot of hopes to seeing you back again. Thank you very much. Thank you one more time. And as I announce the departure of our distinguished dignitaries, I request our dignitaries to kindly step forward for a group photograph. If I may invite the international speakers up on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us at the closing dinner along the pool side. That starts in a few minutes, to be precise at 7 p.m. We look forward to seeing you at the closing dinner at poolside, 7 p.m. sharp. In the meantime, if I may invite international speakers and high dignitaries for a group photograph with our high dignitaries up on stage. May I request all the dignitaries seated on the first and second rows, if you could kindly come up on stage. Distinguished dignitaries,